Alright guys, this is Guan here. I want to show off a wee game I bought recently called Domina. It's quite a cool game. I got it on the Steam sale. I think it was like a couple of pounds or whatever, so it was quite cheap. And I was surprised how much fun I had with it. Like, so I wanted to kind of like just show it off, and maybe like if anybody has a bit of problems, you know, so see the strategy I used to win. Well, hopefully, fingers crossed. So we'll just jump in here. Basically, it's like a gladiator game. So you can you're like a Domina, so you're the female leader of or owner of this gladiator school, and you have to basically like train fighters and win fights and all that sort of good stuff. Like, so the sun is setting on the once mighty Roman Empire. Violent rebellion erupts in the far territories where political corruption erodes the empire closer to home. Fearing that the citizens will revolt and attempt to re-establish a republic, the Emperor has decreed that there shall be a year of epic gladiatorial games, culminating in the greatest champion the Emperor has ever seen, affording unimaginable rewards of coin and glory. The Emperor hopes to revitalize commerce and establish the rule of law once again, but the great Empire of Rope. But Rome is disintegrating in his clenched fist. The next games are scheduled soon, and you aim to win. That was it. You aim to win big. No, it's just like win. So the game's kind of weird. I'm gonna be kind of rushed here, but because it is the game kind of auto plays itself. So you have a certain amount of days until the next thing. So you have to be kind of quick in what you're doing. So I'll just jump right into it. So you sort of start off with 3 fighters. 2 of them generally have equipment, and one of them is basically a slave. The first thing you want to do, you want to win your first fight. So the first thing you want to do immediately is upgrade your main fighter to the best weapon. That will basically should almost guarantee victory. Here you can buy food and water and wine, which is always good to stock up on, and then you can bribe these guys, which is the magistrate. And you suggest gladiatorial patronage, which means like he basically pays all the costs for the gladiator, so it takes a wee bit of the cost off yourself. And then do the same with the leglet. And okay, I'm out of wine now. That was pretty bad. Yep, and do the same with him. You get this guy to train the troops. Make sure you select this one, which automatically trains, because I don't know why that should be on by default in my opinion. And then I like to put the troops on to meditate, which means that the AI performs better for them, because they'll be AI controlled. Then you go to here, and you need to hire employees, and the game gives you a lot of choices, but basically you can only have 3 at one time. So I generally take the architect, the Faber, and the Sacredus, which is like a holy person I believe. And then I'll buy some stuff here again, so it's good to stock up, surprisingly cheap too. So right away I start building. I see the first fight happens so quick, so that's why I'm trying to rush. So you can see here the stats of our first opponent. His you can see the rules here, so it's a game type of 1 versus 1. 1 gladiator versus 1 gladiator. There's no obstacles, so you can see things like it could be like a lion, or like one of the fighters can be staked, or you know, like tied up or whatever. So there's all these different things can happen. That's one of the reasons why it's good to bribe the magistrate or the legate, because they both of them arrange different fights, and the better repetition you have with them, sort of easier the fights will be, and the more sort of generous the victory rewards will be. As you see here, 280 gold, 12 wine, I think that's 2 slaves. So just sort of like you see the sort of rules of the fight. So I upgraded this guy, I believe, Hostilian, pretty cool name. Hopefully you'll be fucking hostiling over this guy's face. And you can sort of see the stats here. So your man, Phipistanus, he has a basic Polgra, which I think is a pretty shitty weapon. It's agility 9, attack 3, he only does 22 damage, and damage is probably the most important stat you want to look at here. Is one of the most important ones I look at, sort of damage and hit points, and then his other stats. So we've got damage of 42, and admittedly like our other stats are not as good, but we have about the same hit points. But I think our extra damage will carry us through. So you can actually control the fighters yourself manually, but I generally don't do that. I just kind of let the AI do it, because it's I think it's probably better than what I can pull off anyway. Like. So that's why one of the reasons why I'm actually upgrading meditation, is it increases the AI skill. And you see, Hostilian is fucking wrecking shit here. Yep. Just cut off a nice bit of armor. He won't be needing that again, and that was a pretty good victory actually. And then as you see, you get your stats increase. You can see here's agility increase and strength. So the more he fights, the better he gets, as well as training in the ludus. If any of you watch Spartacus, all these words should make sense to you. But the ludus is basically just the fucking the gladiator camp or whatever building. You can see the coin we got, the wine, two fighters, or one's a slave because he's like kind of naked, and this one's actually a gladiator because he actually has equipment. And then you win these cards, which I think you can attach sort of like two to 4 cards depending on the person themselves, and they give like special abilities, so it's quite handy as well. So I just kind of put the plebs down the bottom here, out of the way, and then put the sort of fighters at the top. So it's kind of like click management here because you kind of want to be quick here. Because as I said, you can see on the top right there, the next battle is in 6 days, and the game will end in like you have a year basically. So it's important to get the stuff done quick. So the more you play with it, I need to heal his stamina as well. So that's important to do as well. And make sure when you look at the fever, you auto repair because that's another thing. You want to have automatically happening. As I said, I don't know why it's not set by default. With the Sacred Dust, he does different prayers. These are the costs here, and then they do different bonuses. Like the prayer to Apollo increases gladiator strength and like agility, and heals quicker, and like just various different bonuses. Like so, it's good to get them because they apply pretty much all the time as long as he's in the Ludus. For the architect, I'm just building palaces, which increases the training or decreases the training time. Sorry, which is quite useful, obviously, because you want to get their meditate and other skills up as quick as possible. I'm just kind of meditating. As I said, I want to get to 100, which is the cap. This guy should be meditating as well, which is silly of my part. This guy, the Sacred Dust, he upgrades things very quick. Upgrades his prayers very quick, so you have to keep close eye on it. As I said, like you're basically like it's almost like you're spinning plates where you just keep an eye on these things and make sure everything's ticking over. And you should buy lots of food, wine, and water. As I said, the reason why I like to keep them very high is because they are cheap. And you can get droughts and stuff in this game. Like there's sort of like natural disasters almost, where like, you can't buy food for a while. And my first playthrough, I actually ran out of food, which was terrible. So I don't think you want to be doing that. So for the first, this is actually the Doctori, who's basically just the trainer of the gladiators. Like so, basically, I took aim the attack, and then you can sort of go more defensive on the right or more attacky on the left. So I'm going to go sort of left for attack. Because I'm a firm believer in attack is the best defense, and yep, I'm just building more palaces, which, as I said, is decreased training time. I'm just keeping things taken over. Our next battle is pretty much right now. So our next battle is Silius, and he has a damage 20, which is quite poor. If I was feeling adventurous, I could put maybe one of my weaker fighters in here. That'd be worth it, because you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. Because gladiators will request to leave, and they will also run away as well. So if you build up a fighter who's really good, he can just leave you. So it's quite important to have a nice spread of troops or of gladiators. Although it can be difficult to achieve because you're always kind of under it. Like I think this would be too risky. So I'm just going to put in Hostilian, who is our champion at the moment. And he should make short work of this guy, I would believe. Hostilian. You can actually change the name of the gladiators, but it lowers their morale when you do that, which I think is a bit of a pain in the ass. Like, so it sort of discourages from renaming them. I know it's probably realistic. Like, if you were to like force somebody's name to change, they'd probably be pretty pissed off. Like, but given the nature of the game, I think like they should have just let you change it without any penalties. So Hostilian just fucking wrecked that guy's face, and we just got some more bonus, some gold, and 2 more, 1 pleb and 1 gladiator. So move the gladiator up here, and the pleb stays down here. I don't really bother training these guys too much, I mean the plebs, but the gladiators I will generally try and keep them up to date. Sacred Dust is finishing their thing. We're going to get the prayer to Juno, which is increased defense. As I said, just keep buying wine and stuff like that. And just keeping things ticking over. I said you want to keep an eye as well when you're training these meditates. Keep an eye that if they hit 100, you want to stop, because unfortunately they'll keep training even though they're maxed out. And here's some cards here. We have Weapon Master, which is all attacks do the thing, 35% more damage, which is pretty powerful. And this hold ground, which is reduced knockback, which is quite good. Unfortunately, Historian can only hold 1 card at the moment. As I said, I think some people can get up to 4, which is quite good. We finish another palace again. Our favour is he can do automatic upgrades, which don't forget to press this button here, which is actually not pressable until you finish that upgrade. So now he will automatically upgrade weapons for free. So every once in a while you hear like a chinky metal sound, and then you might get lucky and somebody's equipment will like be upgraded from like say like whatever, could upgrade anybody's equipment. It's a bit random, but it is a nice wee bonus. Like, and we've researched blade control, which I think is just more damage, so I'm going to go for disarming weapon. So sometimes you can disarm the opponents, which is quite nice. I should get the Prayer to Neptune, which is only one wine a day, but I suppose it's better than nothing if you're sitting there doing anything, you know? Okay, so we're just ticking along here. It's 2 days until our next battle, so... Okay, so Sacrados is finished. He's pretty much... I won't say useless, but there's nothing to research for him now, so he just kind of sits there, and we gain all these bonuses just by him being present. So we finished another palace, and we'll build another one. Just keep these guys ticking over, as I said. We're getting pretty close to having Hastarian with 100% AI, so we're getting close to changing his thing. So, as we knew the next battle was coming up, we are fighting Quintus, and he has a damage 29, which I think will be a piece of cake for Basilian to take on. He has 78 damage. This is pretty beastly, like. This game can get kind of ridiculous because I've played it quite a bit, and you can get. I have had fighters like you can like just one shot about 10 people at the same time, and it just gets kind of ridiculous, like, which is kind of fun, like in a way, like, you know, it's completely unrealistic, of course, but it's funny as hell. And as you can see, just keep increasing their stats, and they just become like gods, like literally like just gods. And yeah, so got two slaves, well, not too good, but you know, whatever. And some gold. We're actually doing quite well in gold. We're up to like nearly 1,000 now. Thing got a wee bit of a kick in there. Historian took a bit of damage, so I'm going to heal him. He, as you can see here, Meditate has finished 100%, so there's no point training anymore. So I'm going to lower this down to 0. Now what I like to do is I don't like to concentrate on agility, so I will generally keep the Meditate down 0 and keep the agility down 0, while just working on weapon, defense, and strength. Strength is hit points. Defense is like, I think it's just your damage reduction, and weapon is damage. So, as I say, I like to do damage. You can build a character that will like one-shot people anyway, so there's no point really worrying about the defense too much. So yeah, that's basically the protocol I'll go for all my gladiators. So I recommend it highly. So we should look at his equipment here. So we did upgrade his weapon to maximum, which has allowed us the advantage at the start of the game. It's not, you don't really, as I said, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket by upgrading everybody super quick, because it'll cost a fortune of money, and like they can leave or they could die in a battle. So you have to be careful about your investment. Like generally, what you should look for, I actually do have a bit of a method for this, but like generally at the start, I kind of give them like the best weapon and then like medium stuff, because you can sort of see the price scales quite a bit here. So for example, look at this bronze pauldron here. For me to upgrade it, like it has a defense of 7, and for me to upgrade it, it costs 60 gold, and I only gain 2 defense. So if you do the maths, like you know, 2, it costs like it's 30 gold per 1 defense. Whereas you can upgrade things like one of the best efficiencies is the greaves, because they're not that expensive. But you know, I can get 2 defense upgrade here for 5 gold, so you can see how much more efficient that is than upgrading these pauldrons. So generally what I'll do is, like I said, always go for the best weapon. Like, always go for the best weapon if you're going to use them. Then I'll kind of go for a medium shield. Like I sort of stop here at the elite Roman Centurion shield, just because it looks kind of cool. And then for pauldrons, I generally will upgrade them to the max, because they're not that expensive, and they do good. You know, for the Onyx, which is the max greaves, I get 30 defense for the cost 25. Like, so they actually are pretty good bang for your buck that way. Less so is the armor, like, so you can see that the armor is quite expensive. Like, you know, it is quite expensive. Like, so I generally kind of leave it. I don't really upgrade it. Maybe I'll take this one and see. For 2 defense, it costs 56, which is quite expensive, and then I can upgrade this one, the chest armor, from 9 to 11. It costs 23, which isn't too bad. The next upgrade is quite expensive again, so I'll probably leave it there. And then upgrade the bronze pauldron here for 6, and then I'll leave it there. So same with the helmets. Like you're just kind of looking for efficiencies, like, because you don't want to. If you have a guy who's super good and like you're confident he won't leave and stuff, you can, and you're sort of coming down with money. It's okay to like fully upgrade them, and I probably will eventually upgrade this guy, but for the time being, you just kind of want to get more efficiency out of your money. So that's basically the way I do it. This guy, like, maybe could fight a few fights. Unfortunately, I didn't upgrade his weapon because, like, he's almost good to go. Like, if I had to give him that weapon at the start, he could have maybe took on a few of those fights that Historian did. And as I said, it's better to kind of spread your fighters, like, so you don't put all your eggs in one basket. So, as I said, keep filling up water, food, and wine in case you have a drought or something. Keep leveling people up. Keep an eye on their meditation, and then switch them out to proper training. I made a mistake here, and I forgot I wasn't building something there. The magistrate has fallen out of favour with the people and has been kicked out of office. Well, that's pretty strange, actually. That's a bit unfortunate because we give him a lot of wine, so he was actually quite friendly with us. So we're going to get a new magistrate, and he's going to be less friendly, so we'll have to bribe him when he comes up. So we'll just continue training your gladiator abilities and building different things. You can see down here, I haven't discussed this yet. This is the map of the game, so this is like the main objective of the game, pretty much. you need to win at least 3 of these battles, and they cost resources to do, but they usually have kind of weird fights. Like, you'll fight like huge giants and, like, you know, these pretty hard. They're not that hard, like, but they're a wee bit harder than the other fights, and you need to win at least 3 of them. But like, I try and win all of them, because they usually give you good rewards as well, so it's worth doing. So I've built the palaces. Generally, the other stuff will kind of give you food and wine and water and stuff, but I don't really bother with that. What I usually do is build palaces, because that decreases training time. And then I'll build gathering stones, which decreases strength training time, which is what we're focused on. So I'll usually grab that, and then sometimes I'll build baths, which will increase the gladiator's happiness and also improve injury time. And apothecary decreases injury time as well, so it's quite handy. Sometimes I build wall reinforcements if I don't want any gladiators run away, but it takes so long to build, I don't think it's actually efficient, so you're probably better skipping it. And the rest of them are pretty shit too. Like, you can build coal pits, which increases the agility training time, but as you know, I'm not training agility, so it's actually completely useless. So I'll just continue with some gathering stones at the moment. Like, so we'll increase the training efficiency for our fighters. As we see here, our second best fighter has I just dehumanize them. I just can't even be asked for remembering their second name, or their name, just like the second fighter. Yeah, he is 100% meditating, so he's ready to train in some physical stuff. Our next fight's in 1 day here, so there you go. Again, this is it's a fairly easy fight. 25 damage opponent with 163 hit points. I think we can definitely take him on. As I said, I'm going to use our second best. I'm not pronouncing that name, so I'm going to use our second best fighter here, and he should make short work of this guy, like, I would imagine. Kill him! Glory for the Ludus! Yeah, this guy should be a piece of cake. Like, so damage is generally king here. Like, so he's hitting us for like 12, and we're hitting him for 35. Like, so it's a big difference. Like, big difference. Good, excellent. As I said, it's nice to have different characters with, you know, it's good to have a couple of characters who can hold their own. Like, I'm not sure what this Rollmaster does. Rollmaster, a gladiator can roll out of any attack at any point. That sounds pretty good. Okay, so our main champion, he can hold 2 cards now. I believe I took that. That was one of the things I took. What was it? It's mindfulness. Yeah, mindfulness is quite good because it allows gladiators to have an extra card. So if I upgraded that, then Hostilian could have another card. He could go up to 3 cards. And the magistrate still hasn't showed up yet, which is a bit concerning. So just chucking away. We built some stones, as you can see them here, and Fabier has finished. The Faber, sorry, has finished. So you get the improved furnace, which increases repair time, and I think the improved anvil also does repair time, which is dead on. I usually grab them 2 first. I think the Faber also, when you get like the weapon blueprints, I think it actually decreases the cost of upgrading weapons and stuff, so it's quite good as well. Like, okay. We finished our weight training, which I believe lets gladiators move at full speed even if they have heavy weapons and stuff. I don't really know what the best to go for here is. I think like having some defense is good. Like getting the face of rules quite good as well. So I might go for mindfulness though, just so I can. Actually, there's no point because I don't really have any other cards. So I'll move up and get rolling, attack and roll, evasive roll, because they're quite good. That's you'll see your guys rolling all over the place like a bunch of weirdos like. I would imagine this guy, yeah, he's on 100 meditate, so I bring him down into our usual training protocol. Our protocol, and this guy's near finished as well. Still no magistrate though, which is weird. They just forgot about me. Oh, there he is. So we got a new magistrate. We have to bribe him now. We're lucky we have like 600 wine, so
agreed.
It shouldn't be too difficult. We can't suggest. We can't get patronage. I don't know if that's because the last patronage is still in effect. I think it must be a bit of a bug actually. Okay, so we have a fight. Oh Jesus! No, this is careful now. So this is like a big free for all. Like, so this is like many of your gliders versus many. So it'll just be like 7 versus 7 or whatever. So this is where you have to be careful, like, because whereas I have like maybe one good fighter and then one semi-decent fighter, like these guys, apart from them two, like the rest of my fighters would be mincemeat. So in cases like this, you kind of want to sacrifice your lambs to slaughter here. So it's kind of throwing a few slaves. Don't trust me. Yeah, so you don't even have to use all of them, like, you know what I mean. Just have to have some people here. So if you get put up against like fights that you don't think you can win, you're better off just like sacrificing plebs or slaves or whatever. And yeah, some battles you're not worth winning, if you know what I mean. So these poor bastards don't even have a weapon or anything, so they kind of just run away, as you can see. And then sometimes the pleb will throw weapons in for them. So the guy at the top left there actually has a sword and he died quickly. So there's a pitchfork for that guy, and he actually surrenders. Jesus. And yeah, so no real surprise there. Like the Ludus not being covered in glory, but more like in horrible shame. Oh yeah, I forgot the swing mechanic. So if you press the button here, you have to spam your mouse buttons, and you can actually save the guy's life. If I wasn't being terrible. Yay! Big fucker stood him. Both of them surrendered? My clicking skills are off, man. Yo! You survive. See, even though you lose, like you still get like some money and stuff. So you're not. It's not like it's not a total waste. Like, so I'm just gonna buy some more wine and water and stuff. Keep an eye on this sort of thing. Everything's good. This guy's meditating, but he's finished his need for meditation. Just keeping things taken over. No cards or anything. More gathering stones. I might look at upgrading some of the Cleos stuff. I'm going onks on the thing. I'm getting his shield up to elite Roman. Probably get his pad ones up to the bronze level. Yeah, I think that's good enough. Like as I said, like not the best equipment, but he's pretty solid. Like as long as his skills are up to scratch. Okay, so you get these wee events as well. Like where's the last one? The magistrate left, so we have this guy. A fugitus was found near your villa by one of your guards. He is armed for battle, but weary from drink. Your guard took him captive, and the slave now rests in the Ludus. Both the magistrate and Leglet claim to have a quarrel with the man. So this is kind of like a lot of these choices come down to picking between the magistrate and the Leglet. I'm just going to give him to the magistrate, I guess. Yeah, it kind of pisses off him. You just keep feeding them wine though, like they're a bunch of drunks, like so they'll kind of just keep feeding them wine and they'll be happy enough. Another thing you can do is you can actually buy gladiators. You can buy slaves from the magistrate and gladiators from the legate. Generally, I don't really. You pick up enough slaves anyway, like so you don't really need them. But gladiators can be quite good. Like they're pretty expensive sometimes. I don't know why this guy's actually naked. Like these are pretty poor gladiators. Like they haven't even got equipment. See, they tend to have sometimes good stats. You know what I mean? So, like this guy's not bad. Like he's got a bit of agility, a bit of attack, and a bit of defense. So I mean, he wouldn't be a bad choice. Like so, you know, if you lose a good fighter in the arena, you can kind of hopefully buy a decent one off the legate. So another thing to consider. Our fights are coming pretty thick and fast here. Like they're not giving us much time between fights. We picked up aim defense there, so we're going to go for a face-off roll. So we're up against a Mamillo. Mamillos tend. There's 3 different types of classes, which is the one we've been using is the Vex, who's like the shield and sword guy, and then there's like the Mamillo, who's like the two-hander, or dual wielder or two-hander, and then there's the other one, I can't remember the name, but it has like the spear with the nets. I don't really like these. Are probably the Mamillos are probably my least favorite ones actually. Although they look cool, but they don't really perform. So what was that guy's damage? He does 36 damage. So I think Hostilian could kick his ass, like, but I think we might put in Kleos, because he'll kick his ass anyway. And famous last words, like, but hopefully he does anyway. It's a slugfest. Okay, there you go. There's no tactics there. It's just like standing there beating the shit with each other in the face. We got a couple slaves. We'll just be putting them in the slave corner. Slave corner. Just keep building stones and stuff from our thing. We've improved our handle, so I'm going to go for weapon blueprints first. So you can upgrade your weapons for cheaper, yeah. So it makes equipment cheaper, like, so it's quite handy. Okay, is this guy not healing now? So we have 4 days until our next fight. Because of what happened, I'm going to actually go to a pit fight. I don't know if we've done a pit fight yet, so because I didn't use Historian, you can actually do pit fights in between the other fights. You can't really see the stats of your opponents, so it's quite risky. But the rewards are better, and especially in terms of stats, I think you get more stats for winning these fights. So we shall see. I think Hostilian will make short work this guy anyway. Yep, he's hitting him pretty hard. Like. Yep, just cut off his arm as you do. So you got +5 agility. So you get a bit more stats, and I think the more people you kill in the thing as well, you get more as well. So it's a really good way to level improve your fighters quite quickly. As I said, it can be a bit risky though. So we also got a divination card, which is quite nice. So this one increases strength training by 500%, which is pretty insane, like, considering. I'll put that on Historian once we have the mindfulness upgrade done. Oh, I should move this guy up here actually. Everything's just taking long. Just keep buying thing every once in a while. It's surprisingly cheap. It only costs like 1 gold, I think, for each batch of wine and water and stuff. So there's no reason not to take it. So this is our regular fight now. It's our we sort of like have to do this fight. From the leglet. This guy does 63 damage, which is quite high. Like, so I think that'd be tough. Like, I don't know if thing's good enough. Cleos. I don't know if he's good enough to win this fight. I think he actually is. Be tough though. But why risk it? I'll put in Hostilian because he likes fighting. He lives for the fight. Even though he's a bit damaged, I still think he is pretty handsome there. Slay him. He cut off his arm, but I was feeling the sort of chilled sort of thing of possible defeat there. It wasn't good. So we have more plebs and a fighter. You can go here. Coming down with plebs though. Story of my life. Right, so we need to heal him. That's very important. You don't forget to heal your fighters because that could be bad for obvious reasons. We finished training. I'm going to grab mindfulness now because I want to put that training card on our main dude. So our main, we've got a decent amount of training equipment. So I'm going to build a bath now just to increase morale and all that sort of jazz. And then I'm going to take some more stuff. Let's see what gladiators the Leglet has. Legate. I keep saying Leglet. It's like a freaking Diglett. Only it's a Leglet. These guys aren't bad. Like as I said, I've got a pretty full lotus. Like.